The story of Steve Guillam. The swamps of Louisiana have always been a dangerous place, filled with predators that have absolutely no problem with taking a bite out of you. Now, for as long as I can remember, I felt comfortable when outdoors, especially in the swamps and the bayous of Louisiana. As a kid, we played, hunted, fished, crabbed, crawfish. We did everything in the swamps. And so for the life of me, I never ever imagined that I would get lost in those very same swamps. Looking back on the incidents of that day, if you had told me that I would lose my bearings or get lost, I would have bet you my right testicle that would have never happened. But somehow, it did. And to this day, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the hell happened. It was a Saturday morning. I got the boat ready and headed to the bayou. My plan was to do some fishing. You see, I wanted to catch me some big alligator garfish. Now, if you never fished for garfish before, let me explain to you how it's done. In the back of my truck, I had 10 empty extra large laundry detergent bottles. You know, the plastic kind, the orange ones, tied, fishing line, and a bucket with some old chicken thighs. When you're trying to catch big garfish, you don't use a rod and reel. They're too big and they're too strong. They'll break your rod and pop the line. So what you do is you tie a line to a plastic bottle, put a hook on it, bait it, toss it in the water, and go on about your business. Now them gars, they some ferocious fish. So when they strike, it's an 85-90% chance that they're going to get hooked. Once you got one on a line, all you got to do is chase down that floating bottle, grab it, and pull that big boy into the boat. Now, that was my plan for the day. Drop 10 lines in the water across a 3-mile stretch of the swamp, travel back and forth all day pulling up lines and taking in fish. I had my radio with me, cell phone, extra bait, 4 beers and 4 bottles of water, with a bag of cracklings. I get the boat launched and I'm headed out to the area. Again, I have been doing this my whole life. You go through a few twists and a few turns, and then you hit this straight path that it runs for about 8 miles in one direction before you force to loop back around and turn back south. I get to that stretch of waterway and start tossing my lines in the water. After laying all 10 of them out in the water, it's time for me to light my cigar, cast my rod and reel, and try and grab me a few catfish. Catching catfish is how I pass the time in between pulling in the garfish. A solid hour passed to me throwing the rod and reel in the water, reeling in a little bitty catfish, nothing that I wanted to take. So I started to head back the exact way I came in. Now I'm moving about 35 miles an hour. My cigars in a plastic bag, which was sitting right in front of me, start blowing, and they're about to blow away. Now this is where it starts to get crazy. I look away because these cigars are starting to fly off, and I'm reaching for them. And I end up grabbing that bag with the very tip of my pointer finger and my thumb. And when I turn back forward to put my eyes back on where I'm going, right in front of me is this thing that looks like a mirror, but it's got cracks in it and it's broken. You can see through it to the water on the other side, but the edges had this kind of bright glow to it. The next thing you know, my boat is going through this thing, and instantly, when I tell you instantly, it's dark outside. Pitch black, midnight darkness in the swamps. Now I'm riding and looking around and saying to myself, what the is going on? It's dark. The moon is out. I look down at my cell phone and the battery is dead, and I bring my boat to a complete stop. Now listen to me. I don't know what the hell was going on, but now I'm sitting in the middle of the swamps. The environment is completely different. The land, the trees, and waterway is completely different than what I had just seen. And now I start hearing these growls and these freaking roars that I've never ever heard before in my life in the swamps. It sounded like someone had a loudspeaker playing the noises from Jurassic Park. Then I hear something plunge into the water. You know that gabloosh sound. and I can see ripples coming through the water ahead of me. Let me explain to you like this. Freaking out and flipping out had already happened. When I heard whatever it was plunge into the water, I went beyond that to a whole nother level of panic because this was unreal. So now I'm flying through the swamps that I'm unfamiliar with, only guided by moonlight. And I ride around for the next 5 hours trying to figure out where I am until I come up on this bridge and I see cars passing over the bridge. So now I literally drive my boat up on land, climb up this incline to the side of the road and flag down the first car that I can see. The guy driving the car had to think I was absolutely insane. I say, "Excuse me, sir." The look on his face is like he's talking to an idiot. I say, "What time is it, sir?" He looks and says it's 11:30 on a Sunday night. I proceed to ask the next question. "Well, where am I?" The guy looks at me like I'm on drugs, and I can't blame him. He panics, drives the car. Not another car passes for about 20 minutes, and then a big rig, 18-wheelers coming. I stand out in the middle of the road and flag him down. I'm able to talk this guy and let me use his cell phone, and I call my wife. She answers the phone damn near in tears. "Honey, where are you? We're looking for you. We don't know what happened to you." Turns out, I am 150 miles away from where I launched my boat. My wife has called the police. My son and his friends are in the swamps looking for me. Everybody is freaking out. They thought I was dead. I wait there for another hour and a half for my son to go get my truck, drive to where I am, and then we have to find a place to pull the boat out of the water. When I'm finally in the truck with my son and he asks me what happened, I try to explain it to him. He looks at me like I'm on PCP. And again, I don't blame the poor child because I need you to understand something. In order for me to get from the body of water that I was in, originally fishing, to this new place where I was at the side of the road by the bridge, I would have had to take my boat out of the water, drive it on land, up the highway, and relaunch it because there was no connecting waterway to get from one to the other. And I tell you what, I know for sure I didn't freaking sleepwalk, drive my boat back to the launch, put it on a trailer, pull it out of the water, drive 150 miles to a whole nother location, relaunch the boat in the middle of the night, and then try and do some damn fishing. That's not what happened. Somehow I went through some kind of portal or doorway that something or someone was using, and it dropped me off 150 miles away from where the hell I was. Right into Jurassic Park.